Hello and welcome back to the Broke Digger Gaming channel. Today we are starting off with a Aussie review of the PS Portal, which was released in Australia on February 2nd of this year, so a couple of months behind the American release. It's been a long-awaited review. I wanted to see and play this device for a number of months to judge whether it's worth it or not. The last patch has been Sony's best patch to date, allowing for users to connect their system or their portal to any Wi-Fi that requires a password, which was sadly missing from the launch edition of this game. And why it took them so long to do this is anybody's guess, but Sony has not been doing well for its consumer base for this entire generation. But anyway, now that we've said that, back to the review. So, having bought the backbone, the review on this channel, I wanted to test the device using my phone in regards to PlayStation streaming remote play, and I generally found the backbone, which retails for 180 Australian dollars. It's roughly 50% cheaper than the PS Portal. However, I was completely floored by the level of performance, ease of integration, battery life, and the impressive 8-inch screen, as well as the interoperability and performance with the Pulse 3D earphones, which themselves are a wallet-destroying 300 plus Australian dollars. A big issue which has been sadly highlighted is Sony's historic arrogance. What I am talking about is as good as the PS Portal is. Sony could have added a myriad of extra features, but insisted not to, or at least not to at the time of writing. There are many reasons behind this decision, but most of it stems from being costs lower through the most important point, however, is the device as simple as possible, basically to deter hackers and emulation enthusiasts. We have clearly seen that has failed, and if a hacker wants to hack your device, they will find a way to do it, and they have certainly done that in the last few months. We already know Play previous PS handheld mods has been patched by Sony. However, the latest patch, being 2.0.5, has improved stability, streaming, and video quality to the system, which was already impressive on the day of its release. Otherwise, has the system changed much since its late American release? For the Aussie owners of this year, apart from the addition to be able to sign into a Wi-Fi password, not much at all has changed, while the Portal's phone suggested should be tightly grouped with its PlayStation predecessors. Closer comparisons reveal its function is more remote. Literally, this is a second screen for your PlayStation 5, rigidly and specifically a TV-freeing companion piece. I spent a considerable amount of time with this well-made bit of kit, and I have some observations. So starting with the battery life. On average, I managed to get approximately 4.5 hours of battery life from the Portal, which is quite impressive. That was at a reasonable 50% speaker volume and cranked to full brightness, smashing out some Tekken 8, Spider-Man 2, and The Last of Us 2 Part 2 Remastered. You can delay the need to reach for that USB-C charge cable if you're willing to part with haptics, trigger effect, lights, and some brightness. Does the Portal perform well? Well, your mileage is going to vary hugely here depending on how emotional your Wi-Fi setup is and what you're trying to ask of this handheld in terms of router distance and the physical barriers between like walls. For me, I was highly impressed with the near perfect experience I got in a variety of positions around my home. For the record, Sony expects a 5 megabytes minimum connection from you, but the best case is 15 megabytes and up, though I went in skeptical about how well the Portal could work in my rather expansive home, only to be shocked by its viability. However, some reservations still exist. I would happily play most of my games library on this, which essentially is a basic streaming device. That is, beyond some very high stakes diversions that I couldn't leave to control latency channels. Ranked matches in Tekken 8, definitely no. Roguelike runs in No Return, Last of Us Remastered, not unless I'm desperate or have moved all the requisite hardware into a single room, line of sight affair. I played everything from Like a Dragon to Infinite Wealth for approximately 2.5 hours. I saw no lag, not a misplaced pixel, thanks to my Wi-Fi of course. Other games like Tekken and FPS shooters, which all fare differently, but generally I was very impressed. To be honest, I didn't expect to be this surprised and impressed by the performance of the PlayStation Portal on its Australian release, but it has actually knocked my socks off. That 8-inch panel is large, beautiful and bright, although a little bit more reflective than I would want even inside the house. The pairing of the very expensive Pulse 3D earphones, which actually costs about the same as the Portal itself. They work and fit amazingly with the PS Portal, and they're obviously designed with it in mind. In fact, I was rather extremely impressed with the level of quality of sound, music and effects using these earphones through the Portal. Certainly not cheap, and if you add all together, that's approximately 700 Australian dollars investment for the Portal and Pulse earphones. But man, when it works amazingly. I have also tried Wi-Fi using my Samsung as a hotspot, getting over the issue of signing in with varying degrees. Of course, you're not going to get generally the same level of bandwidth as you might at home, so be aware of that. However, from cafes to libraries, it definitely worked, mostly at levels I would deem as playable, given the fact you are playing the Portal away from home. Also, what impressed me was the extremely impressive battery life. I think I got nearly 5 hours of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Other games fared from 4 to 6 hours. Overall, when this thing works and is used over good stable Wi-Fi with your Pulse earphones, it's really hard for me to believe this is only a streaming device due to the seamless login, gameplay and phenomenal speed. However, do take caution. Each person's view of this device is slightly different, and that is understandable. Everyone will play different games, have different Wi-Fi speeds, and have their own idea of what qualifies as acceptable lag and what doesn't. For anyone interested in this device, I would, if I can find a friend who has one, and ask to loan it for a day or two just to see whether you like it before you make this very expensive investment. Aside from those performance precautions and the not inexpensive price of entry, the PlayStation Portal delivered the goods for me. This is indeed a great device that represents the best and most authentic feeling hardware solution for PlayStation Remote Play. Again, these are big caveats to what I said, and your mileage may vary. In my original review, I was going to give the review a 7.5 out of 10, largely because of the fact that Sony deliberately did not allow for the entry of passwords when on public Wi-Fi, but the fact that the recent patch has actually allowed that makes me change the score to an 8 out of 10. This is certainly an accessory for very specific use by people who don't mind having the occasional lag or issue with the device. It is definitely worth taking with you on trips. I have recently had a 4-week hospital stay, and I was able to play Final Fantasy Rebirth without any issues amongst other games. So this is definitely worth a buy, and hopefully pretty soon we'll be able to give us a few discounts on this device. Unfortunately, the PlayStation VR headset doesn't seem to be faring as well, and it looks like Sony is abandoning it, but at least we have this. Anyway, thank you for joining me in this review. I had a long pause over the last few months, but I'm going to be back at it. Next reviews will have compilation videos of Starfield and the unboxings of several new items including the Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition, as well as the Quake Limited Edition exclusive box set, which I've been waiting for a long time. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and if you like this review, maybe give it a like or share, that would be very appreciated. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.